to another edition of Wrestling Sheet Radio. I'm your host, ProWrestlingSheet.com, Editor-in-Chief Ryan Satin, here with my co-host, Jamie Iovine.
Hey, everybody.
As well as my guest co-host for today, John Rocha.
Hello.
Normally here doing the Raw and Smackdown recaps with me. Well, not in this room anymore. Over there.
Yeah.
Wild card rule for this podcast.
Well, Rocha needed a favor, and I was like, well, if you need me to record earlier, Rocha, I need you to record with me. And he was like, well, okay, fair enough. Okay, cool.
Let's add this to my list of shows today. Yeah, let's do it. This might be the most fun I have, though.
Yeah, no, well, yeah, there's a lot to talk about this week, man. I felt like there was a lot that happened this week. Let's start with I was going to start with the WWE Network, but I actually think I want to start with all the things going on with AEW. They kicked off the week, really. It started early in the week on Monday, I believe, where they started teasing that they were going to be announcing something big on later in the week, and it came down on Wednesday. They finally announced the premiere date of their TNT TV show. It's going to be on October 2nd, Wednesday. Wednesday is the day, and it's going to be at 8. It's going to be at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. live. The first one is going to take place in Washington, D.C. at the Capital One Arena. It's a big arena.
That's my hometown. What?
Yeah, man.
I'm going to get tickets right now.
Home of the legendary battle between R-Truth and John Cena for the WWE title.
That's right.
That's
Capital Punishment, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
I'll remember it because I always see that poster
with Obama on
and
it,
I'm
right?
like, is this racist? I can't tell.
Yeah, it's funny too because in the poster that the Capital One Arena put out, or I think AEW did as well, they're kind of they're all standing over the White House, and I had the same thought in my mind. And there's not a lot of posters I remember, but for some reason that one does always stick out in my mind.
It's a weird poster. No. It's an art that they never used since. Right. They used it once, and it's like, let's get this new artist who draws caricatures of our talent and the president, I guess.
Yeah, it was like something you'd get at a boardwalk.
It was
They
weird.
definitely were at a boardwalk, and Vince was like, hey, I like your art, pal. You want to do our poster for us? Put it outside the White House.
It's an anomaly. I highly recommend you go Google it.
Okay, so Wednesday night. Now, Wednesday night is already the night that NXT is on.
Have they said the name of the show yet?
They have not said the name of the show yet. They said that it would be coming soon, the name of the show. And you know what? And I feel bad that I don't have the person's name in front of me, but I saw someone mention this on Twitter, and you know what? I don't think it needs a name.
Wow.
All Elite Wrestling is just a good name. Like, do you really think that they need one beyond that? I feel like Dynamite or all these things that are Nitro reminiscent. I don't know. I just don't feel like it's needed. Like, All Elite Wrestling. And no one called... I'm trying to think of like Impact was just Impact.
Well, I mean, if you want to make a sports analogy, they call it. Well, it's not the name of the show, but it's called Monday Night. People refer to it Monday Night Football.
Right.
Fair,
but it's.
But like, look for example, NXT. NXT doesn't have a name for NXT every week. It's just NXT TV.
But that's different, dude.
Ring of Honor doesn't have a name. It's just Ring of Honor TV. Championship Wrestling in Hollywood doesn't have a name. It's just Championship Wrestling in Hollywood. It's not on those levels, I know, but I'm just saying.
Very good. And also, I think I also think when they're in the early stages of WWE, before WWE Superstars, before all that stuff, I think it was just WWE television in the Saturday mornings or whatever time slot it was.
Can you tell us about that real quick?
Yeah, I can actually. Yeah, it was WWF. You go, I got to watch WWF this weekend. It was never.
But it didn't have a name?
No, it didn't.
Superstars?
That came later as they became more established and Vince was out there trying to create more shows.
Because that's how I look at it.
That's what I'm saying. I think the whole purpose of the names of the shows was just to differentiate which show you're watching.
That's kind of how I look at it too. Is that like the name, Raw, SmackDown, all those kinds of things. It's because they're branched out. They have different shows.
Right.
Yeah.
I would think you don't need a name right away. You could just be All Elite Wrestling.
It wasn't called Georgia Championship Wrestling Dynamite. It was just Georgia Championship Wrestling. That's what you watched. There was never a name for the show. So, and AWA, same thing. So it never was. So this may be on purpose if they don't have a title, going back to the old school ways of things, which is what they seem to be saying they want to do with AEW.
And I feel like they're leaning into the WCW thing enough as it is. I mean, like, we get it. You guys want to be the new the new WCW. I don't know if calling the show Dynamite or whatever really like.
Where did that come
anything.
from, by the way?
Because it was one of their trademarks initially, and it was All Elite Wrestling, All Out, Double or Nothing, and Wednesday Night Dynamite.
Wednesday Night Dynamite.
So that's why the whole time it's been like, well, now all these other things happened.
I don't like Wednesday.
They all fell in line the way it seemed. Wednesday Night Dynamite is that only like sole one floating out there or whatever. I think they trademarked Bash. They tried to trademark Bash at the Beach.
Oh, really?
I think they tried to trademark that. I remember seeing that a while back. And then I saw today that there was a rumor, there's talk of doing an episode of the TNT show from Jericho's cruise.
Oh.
And to me, I said all along, I really feel like Bash at the Beach is going to happen on the Jericho
Bash at the Beach
cruise.
to be on the boat.
Yeah.
I would love that. Or even better,
When they go on the island.
Yeah. Wow.
That's
A
what it's
show
gotta be.
from like the beaches of the Bahamas? That sounds crazy.
Text your boy. Put the idea out there.
Dude,
bro, I'll go on the Jericho cruise if you're doing that.
Jericho's asked me 2 years in a row to go on the cruise. And
shit.
I've loved him for this, but I've been on a cruise before, and it was one of those like EDM cruises that like is like a bunch of DJs playing 24/7, and I was one of them. On paper, it sounds like a great idea, but then when the second night and it's a 5-night cruise, your set's over, and you're like, shit.
I got 3 more days out here.
I'm still here. I can't leave. I can't go home.
Wait, you've only been on one cruise in your life?
Yes.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, because growing up, my family hated them.
Your dad's anti-cruise?
Oh my God, my dad's anti-people.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, your dad has the luxury of being able to afford something like that, where he can like not do those kinds of things. That makes sense.
But even back then, when I was growing up, before Beats, before Interscope was worth as much as it is now, I've never been to Disneyland with my parents ever.
Wow.
Really?
Ever.
Wow. Wait, you grew up in Southern California?
I've been with other people.
You've never been to when you were a child, you never went to Disneyland with your parents. Not your mom either. When they because how old were you when they split up?
15.
Okay,
16.
so you were too little. Okay. That's crazy. That is honestly a stat that blows my mind.
I've never been to Disneyland with my dad.
It's funny because Erica, my girlfriend, I know you know her and you know her.
Yeah.
People out there. She told me the same thing that her dad is like super anti. Like people, like he's not a people person.
Wow.
Like he just doesn't like crowds, that kind of a thing. And so she's the same way. She's like, no, I never grew up going to Disneyland. Like I think she said she went like once before she can even remember. And I was like, man, I went so much growing up to Disneyland.
Yeah, my girlfriend's the same way. She doesn't like theme parks at all. She doesn't like the group. She doesn't like large group events. Like us going to this wedding over the weekend, it was with her family because it was with her family. She went, but going to another wedding with people she doesn't know, not what she wants. I have like a crew of 70 people. Like I tell her about
70.
We get together.
70.
Yeah, 70.
Where do you know all these people from?
Just from school and then from here in LA.
Wow.
We went.
That's a huge friend circle.
For Force Awakens, we had 112 people go.
God, what's that group chat look like?
Trust me, Jamie, trust me. These group texts are out of control. You have to like mute the conversation at some point. They've been going on for 7 years, some of them.
Man.
But yeah, so like when she saw that big group of us at some thing, and she was like, I'm not doing it. I'm meeting them one at a time in controlled environments because she doesn't like that kind of shit.
She would hate horror nights at Universal Studios.
She would never go.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I worked that shit. She would never go. I've never been on a cruise either.
In your life?
In my life.
Not even one?
This idea of being where I'm out of control willingly no.
Which part of the military were you in?
I was in the Army. We were land based.
You were land based.
I wasn't no Navy boy.
That's crazy. Yeah. Man. It's funny. I've been on a couple cruises in my life, and I never once had that like on the boat. Like, fuck, I'm stuck out here. Like I never.
Well, you are stuck out here.
No, I mean like, I know that, but I never. I maybe I'm so busy getting drunk and playing slot machines and stuff like that, and eating buffet food that I don't think about it.
It could have just as easily just been the one I was on because literally, like as I'm trying to sleep, it's 4 a.m. and there's people running up and down the hallways and shit.
The one that you always talk about, like this EDM cruise, sounds like a fucking nightmare. Like, I would never want to be on a thing where it's 24-hour EDM playing at all times
and partying. People drinking
nonstop.
So
much ecstasy going on. Yeah,
sucking on lollipops.
It was
not showering.
Running up and down the halls with glow sticks and shit. Yeah, no, fuck that. So there's also these rumors out there that NXT, well, WWE is in talks with Fox to bring NXT over as well to Fox Sports 1 to be kind of like a head-to-head thing with AEW. I feel like that would definitely be. I mean, I've said it all along that I felt like this was something that was going to happen. I feel like AEW would be in for a pretty rude awakening if that were to happen. I don't know if that's just me, but I feel like NXT, in my opinion, is the most universally liked wrestling program.
That too, and it's also, it's universally liked, and it's going to be having a lot of eyes on it, even because just the fact that it's on Fox Sports, that's just because if people are flipping through the channels unaware that NXT is even on there, and they come across it, just looking for basketball or whatever. Yeah. Well, not basketball's on TNT.
Fair though, I get what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, it's
definitely
other
college
sports,
football and stuff on
yeah.
Fox. Yeah,
and it's definitely going to give NXT a huge jump start. But I'm curious if the production will change for NXT.
That makes sense. Yeah. I think it wouldn't surprise me to see there be
because
a little bit.
Because truly, if they just copy and pasted NXT from the network to Fox as is, I don't think it's much of a competition still.
Well, we haven't seen what the AEW show looks like yet.
I think it's going to be more than 300 people at a college. Fair,
fair. That makes sense. Well, it is. I mean, they're going to go for what I saw them saying. It looks like they're going to go for like basketball-sized arena.
Basketball arenas. Like WWE does.
Yeah.
I'll push back a little bit, and I'll say this. Fox Sports not really known for pro wrestling.
No.
TNT has a history of showing pro wrestling on their network. So that could give them a little bit of credence with the fans.
And the old school fan, the lapsed fan they're trying to find.
Exactly. So they might have a little more of an inroad. Plus, the AEW show is the main talent show, whereas NXT is the third level talent show in terms of its presentation in the company. So, like, what are you going to get in terms of quality, right? And I think that could help them a little bit.
I also saw, and I don't have the stat in front of me, but I was reading it, I want to say yesterday or sometime today, where it said that TNT is available in more homes than Fox Sports 1 as well. It wasn't like a huge margin. They're both tons. Like I want to say it was like 80 million to 55 to 60 million or something like that. But I mean, that's still an extra 20 million or so. So
they've been around longer.
And they've been around longer. But at the end of the day,
it's going to come out to product, isn't it?
Absolutely, it's going to come down to product.
Yeah.
I think also you have to factor in a couple things. I think that you forget that WWE also has two other shows to promote the NXT jump with if it were to happen. You also have to factor in if the studio show. If they start talking about NXT 2 and it's not just about if they bring it to Fox Sports, they would likely talk about NXT on the Fox Sports studio show as well. And you would think Triple H would want that exposure as well, where it's in this fancy, actual studio show looking vibe where it's this nice fancy thing. I feel like he'd want that, and you'd get a lot of extra exposure that AEW maybe won't necessarily get with TNT. I think they're going to get promoted, obviously. They're going to have commercials. They're going to be talked about during basketball. But I do think that, I don't know, I feel like if they get the Fox Sports machine behind NXT, I feel like AEW would have a real run for their money.
There's one aspect that I thought about, actually, when I was thinking about fans and TNA and people tuning in and whatnot. And I think I could be wrong. I feel like this is a factor, though. I feel like there is a pocket of the fan base who are watching AEW. It's I don't know if I'm phrasing it right, out of spite to the WWE. Like
petty watching. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, totally. Sure. That's what, you use that right.
Yeah, we wanted, we're rebels, so we shouldn't watch that.
For the same reason they want CM Punk to come over.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's like a no, fuck the WWE, that kind of a thing.
So I feel like that's a huge. I still think that even when they go back to back with NXT and AEW, I still think there's a big pocket of. I'm not saying it's going to overwhelm it. I'm saying, but there is a solid pocket, I'd say.
But do you feel like that same crowd, the whole fuck WWE, and the ones who purposely are trying to say bad, the ones who no matter what WWE does or says or does, they're gonna hate on it. Those types, and who are spite watching, as you said it. Do you think that same crowd feels the same way about NXT? Because I feel like generally that crowd does like Triple H and what he's done with NXT.
Yes, but I think they're also seeing that this is clearly what it is, which is a jab at them, which is a jab at AEW. I think that's what they see this is. And if it's one thing that the IWC loves to do is come to the rescue of somebody being bullied.
Unless that person's me, but
yeah. But and so
someone they like.
And so I think when they see, this is just how I'm interpreting.
No, I think you're 100% on the money.
Like when they see Vince and Triple H saying, "Oh, we're gonna fuck these guys up," and not even give them a chance, and I think they'd be like, "Nah, we'll show you. Doesn't matter what channel you put NXT or whatever you're programming on, we'll still watch it."
Did you guys see what Vince said about AEW in a roundabout way today? In the
I
conference call?
saw that there was everybody's been posting about it. I haven't seen what
he said. He said, we're going to get a bit edgier, but still remain in the PG environment. We won't come anywhere close to going into another level. That will be something we do in terms of direction and content, more controversy, and better storylines. At the same time, we're not going to go back to the Attitude Era. We're not going to do blood and guts, such as being done on perhaps a new potential competitor. We're not going to go back to that gory crap that we graduated from. It's a more sophisticated product. As far as competition is concerned, the old adage is competition is good for everyone. I think that's generally the case. And then he said, we're hoping that to the extent that they are competition, they don't continue with blood and guts and gory things that they have been doing, which would be bad. I can't imagine, he said, I can't speak for TNT, but I can't imagine they would put up with that.
Yeah. And also, I do think that as much as I enjoyed watching both instances, well, I didn't enjoy seeing Cody's head get split open, but it was a crazy spot nonetheless. And then the Joey Janela John Moxley match,
Dustin,
you're right, and Dustin, and I think that while it made for great television, don't get me wrong, I think they kind of shot themselves in the foot doing it so early and doing it back to back. Literally, there was blood
every single one,
every single episode.
Yeah.
I mean, every single pay-per-view. And I love that Tony had to come out afterwards and say, "No, this is not how the show is going to be," and it's because it's. I mean, your first impression. Your first impression is like Dustin Rhodes losing 50% of his blood.
Did you ever watch that clip or did you just read the quote of what Tony said?
I saw a quick clip.
Because that clip cracks me up when they're like, "Is this what we can expect to see from AEW and TNT?" He's like, "No. No.
Yeah.
No.
Immediately controlling the message. Yeah.
He's like so quick on it.
Well, Vince is such a master at this stuff. He's been destroying federations for years. And he knows exactly what to say to undercut them. But I think this AEW is catching him at the right time. This is an older Vince. This is a Vince that's, kind of riding off into the sunset a little bit. And he's excited by this challenge. I think he likes this kind of shit. He lives for this kind of shit.
We had mentioned that on another show.
It excites him. It gets him all going. It gets his grapefruits going. But he talks about this and saying all the blood and guts. He's immediately undercutting it, saying we graduated from this crap, immediately turning it into kind of like public access wrestling. Like he's just devaluing it in just 3 sentences. And it's brilliant.
If you're the head of a household and your kids want to watch wrestling, you read that, you're like, well, I'm not going to have them watch AEW.
Exactly.
Totally.
Yeah.
I saw someone pointed out, I think it was Garrett Kidney who worked for Impact for a while, doing their social media stuff. He tweeted a quote from Vince McMahon shortly after Impact tried and failed to go head-to-head with WWE. And it was very close to the same thing where it was like they tried, but that gory blood and guts crap doesn't cut it anymore type stuff, and it's something that Vince really it's clearly part of his playbook, and I'm interested as hell by it all.
And it also works in another genius way. If you were going to go that route and make it incredible, now he's made it. He's put a stain on it. So that even if you were trying to do that to be different, he's denigrated to the point where you're like, well, what's the point now?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so smart, and it's clearly it's like a king who hasn't had to go to battle for so long, and he's been waiting for someone to test his throne. Man, no one really. Hulk Hogan, sorry, Hulk. No. You tried, failed.
Yeah, he was sitting in the closet at Smackdown asking for someone to come find him.
Come find me, Cody. All right, the other big AEW related thing this week happened today, and that was related to CM Punk.
Yeah.
This whole thing.
It's very baffling.
It interests the hell out of me.
It's very baffling.
So, okay, as you guys probably remember, CM Punk was announced for StarCast last week. People were pumped, but obviously, we had kind of said here, it was obviously going to make people think that maybe he's going to appear at All Out. It was going to raise fan expectations, and Punk was very quick to nip that one in the bud. He said, I think that there's an he spoke with ESPN's Mark Raimondi, and this is what he said. He said, I think if there's an expectation, it's purely been built by them, the fans. My silence to some fans means something. They're trying to read the tea leaves, but there's nothing to read. I even feel like talking about it may feel like I'm putting some sort of negative slant on it, but I'm really not. The fact is, I know they've teased me ad nauseum, and if anybody's going to get mad at me, or if anyone's going to get mad, it's at me because I don't show up. Well, then, I don't know what to tell you. That's one of those things that's none of my business. And then he said, they do these videos where they talk about me. They're constantly talking about me in the media. And again, maybe this sounds like I'm badgering them, but I'm not. It's just something that happens. I'm a popular guy to talk about, but I'm not doing interviews talking about them. If people ask me about it, I say no, I won't be there. He also complained how he said, I know they like to talk about me a lot. If I text Matt Jackson,
when they say they, is the elite guys?
Yes.
Okay.
And he said, if I text Matt Jackson saying, hey, have a great show tonight, which I did when they had their big show in Vegas, that somehow turns into Tony Khan telling people he has a great relationship with me. I've said in the past, I've talked to them, but nothing ever came of anything. Now, before we get into the next part, just that alone was like, oh man, that's a lot to take in, I felt like. Yeah. I mean, he had a lot to say about the AEW guys.
Yeah, and if it's true, if he's not working people, which I honestly have no idea, like at this point, because he's
CM Punk. He's really
CM Punk.
good.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
he's really good.
And I mean, he tricked everybody for like 5 years into thinking that the pipe bomb was real. You know, and so
he made some people think he was walking out of WWE.
Yeah, and so I truly don't know what he's getting at with this, but I mean, it is, if it's true, it's very interesting in the sense that he is not being warmed up to the idea at all. Like he doesn't like saying that he doesn't have pretty much in so many words, he said, Tony Khan, keep my name out your mouth.
That's kind of how I got the vibe too.
In so many words. And which is a little setting back because you would think like, okay, if Punk's going to feud with somebody, like nice little Tony Khan over here.
He's like walking up with his glasses like, hey, what'd I do? I just loved you growing up.
Yeah, it's like, what the hell? And also it seems also like he doesn't appreciate the Bucks like their interaction with him, and which I understand it's tongue in cheek and it may get annoying because the joke to him may get old, as a lot of jokes on being the elite do.
Yeah. They run their course.
Yeah. And
librarians.
Yeah. But it's really interesting because I've never seen anybody refer to what like their interactions with the Jacksons or with Cody, with Tony as negative. They've never like had that aura of dealing with them. They've always seemed really nice guys. They've always seemed like easy to talk to and not trying to fuck you over in any sort. So so I think that's why it's so alarming to you as well. That nobody's ever really spoken about these guys in such a way.
Like,
well, I think the thing with CM Punk is, and this is. Look, and if he finds me, maybe he'll try his MMA stuff on me. But like, I think he's a little bit of a drama queen, and he loves to have the spotlight, loves to have the attention. What he doesn't like is someone else controlling the attention that he's getting. This has been since his indie days into WWE and afterwards. These quotes are him saying, don't use me for this bullshit without me being in control of how you're using me for this bullshit. And he doesn't come out one way or the other about it, which of course is why Jamie's like, well, he could be working all of us the whole way. We don't know. But this is his way of saying to everyone, like, I need to be in control of everything that happens with me no matter what. And he's making it very clear how he wants to go forward.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's absolutely. You nailed it right there.
Other wrestlers are fine being part of it because, hey, I'm still in the conversation. CM thinks he's Hulk Hogan level or Ric Flair level in his mind, and so how he wants to be handled is he thinks he should be handled at that level.
I know we talk about this a lot, but where does he rank on your personal top 20?
Top 20. Top 20. I would say top 20 because of what he's been able to do consistently through the indies and through into WWE. And he left a legacy. People still chant his motherfucking name.
They did on Smackdown.
I was just going to say, that's
not top 10.
Still, no, hell no.
The only reason why he wouldn't make the top 10 for me, and I agree with him, and the only reason why he wouldn't is because of the longevity.
Yeah.
If he had stuck around, definitely.
Yeah, that's fair.
Quitting walking away affects your legacy.
Because he was definitely, you can definitely say he was incredibly influential. I don't know if he'd be my top Phoebe my top 10.
Well, I would credit him completely with starting the
indie revolution.
Yeah,
Yes.
I credit him with that 100%.
Yeah.
Would Daniel Bryan not be in your top 10?
Top 10
Yes.
wrestlers of all time?
Of all time? Huh.
You're just your personal, not what is
I
not
wouldn't.
the top
No.
10 actual definitive, but your personal.
I wouldn't.
That's
top
what,
20.
that's what I thought you were referring to.
I'd have to sit down with it. He doesn't come to mind in top 20.
Top 20? Because he's also along those lines where he also helped usher that in. I mean, he basically took what Punk did and just
Then kept it going. Yes,
yeah.
of course. And
But for all his Yef stuff, they're not going to chant Daniel Bryan's name. They chant Punk's name.
And
there's a reason for that.
I just
Fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Daniel's always been really, really tricky with me in terms of my liking him full on, like ready to go. It's because, I mean, that whole run, the whole Yes Movement run up into capitalizing off and then ending with WrestleMania 30. I was there for that shit. That was incredible.
Yeah. That's when you were working there, right?
Yeah, no, that was the last
before?
one. That was the last one before I was there, and then I was also there when he came back for 33, which was also incredible. It's just I have a hard time finding other moments.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't disagree with you, man.
That's fair. No, it's super fair.
Yeah.
But outside of that, yes.
Solid matches.
Well, I mean, it's not like he hasn't had good stuff beyond that, but I see your point. Because there was also, I guess that was all part of all the matches that come to mind. They were all part of that, Yes Movement kind of
And name me one good Daniel Bryan promo.
I can't.
Right. Oh, he's great at promos.
He's great at promos, but name me one that
There
stands
was
out.
one the other day where he was talking about.
They've only been good. To be honest, they've only been good.
I think they're, but more recently, yes.
Okay.
More so, I would say.
Is there a signature promo?
Since he's come back.
Like every great wrestler has a signature
Well, yeah,
promo.
there's a whole retirement thing and stuff. I mean, it's more sad and stuff. And
I
then
don't
he had
know
the
if that's
whole,
a promo, brother.
I don't know.
What about the whole
Like
Occupy
Punk's
Raw
Bomb,
stuff?
that's top 10. His pipe bomb thing, that's top 10 promo.
Fair.
That's in the
That's top 5 promo.
Yeah, that's in the Dusty Rhodes promo. Hard Times. That's in that Hogan's heel promo when he turned to NWO. Those are the top 5.
The other day we were on a long car
at least for me.
ride. Erica and I want to say it was on the way home from Double or Nothing, and she was like, "Why do people fucking care about CM Punk?" Like she wasn't, she wasn't there for any of that, And she goes, "Why?" And I went, "Can I show you something?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I made her, since we were on a long drive,
watched the
anyways.
pipe bomb?
I put the pipe bomb on, and then when it was over, she went, "All right, I got it now. Cool, I got it. Now that's all you need to
That's
show
all
me."
you need.
I genuinely just wonder how long this is going to go, though.
With Punk and
No,
AEW?
just people championing him, even though he hasn't been in the company since 2014.
Well, at this point, it's almost become more than Punk. The CM Punk chant, I think.
I think it's
honestly,
more so bored.
we're
It's
bored.
yeah.
Yes,
absolutely.
It's. I don't think it's necessarily we wish CM Punk would come out. It's more so CM Punk would be rolling his eyes at this, and we're letting him know we still appreciate, not appreciate, but this is a stupid thing that Punk would have made fun of, and I think it kind of has that.
And they know that it gets to Shane and Stephanie because they acknowledge it a few times. Stephanie's acknowledged it a couple times.
Yeah.
Okay, but then also in the interview he said, I loved it because Mark, who did the interview with him, was like, so have you got, is there anything imminent between you and AEW? And he said, the last thing I got a text message from Cody. And again, I almost don't even know how to reply to them sometimes because if I reply, they do interviews and they're like, oh yeah, I just talked to CM Punk. I'm kind of damned if I do, damned if I don't. I always think if somebody wants to do business with me, they can come talk to me. Texting offers isn't really a good way to do business, isn't a way to do good business at least. And then Mark said, was it an offer via text? And Punk said it was texted through 3 people and an offer came in through text. This is a month ago maybe. And they asked, was it an offer for All Out? And he said, I think it was just a general offer. I never could have done the last one in Vegas, Double or Nothing, because I was in California for CFFC. And then he ended it by saying, I'm not that dude that sat down on a stage in Vegas 8 years ago. I'm not the dude that left WWE. I'm not that guy. That was 5 years ago, Phil. I'm a different dude now. People still have that connotation oh, he hates WWE. And it's just no, I've let all that go, and I've let that go so long ago. But there are people that hold on to that. They still think or want me to be who I was. I'm not who I was yesterday. This is my journey. This is my odyssey. I still don't believe him.
It's still drama queen shit, but I respect it if he's actually like worked on himself and moved. Because I mean, getting your ass kicked in the UFC or the MMA stuff, he got his ass kicked in. That'll humble a motherfucker. If you think you're all that, getting beat like that twice, Jamie, and embarrassingly so. That'll humble you and be like, oh, me talking all this smack about everything else. Look at this.
The way he talks about that in the interview also was, I got to give him props for the way he just owns up to it. He was basically like, look at man, like, do I think I should have gone and done a bunch of like, small MMA places first? No, like they offered me something and I thought I could do it, so I went for it. He's like, yeah, I lost, but I also woke up the next morning with my hot wife and my cool dog and my big apartment, and I was like, yeah, all right, cool. Like, what are we gonna do now? Brush myself off, and like, he's like, I honestly get a kick out of like, being at the end of something or failing at something and then brushing myself off and being like, okay, what's next?
Well, fans might hate me for this, but I'd rather see AJ come back than CM. CM's become to me like the Guy Fawkes mask. Like people just use him to symbolize something. It's no longer about him anymore. And I think with AJ, there was so much still left on the table. Younger than him, certainly with way more potential, and her own journey, her own personal journey, which she wrote about in the book, would be fascinating.
It's wild that she's in her early to mid 30s.
That's what I'm saying.
It's wild.
It's similar to like Kelly when you see her and you're just like, wait, how old is Kelly?
Yeah,
what?
right?
She's younger than Charlotte?
Right. And I'm friends with this girl, and I ask her all the time, "Why did you leave?"
Kelly?
Yeah, she left at her peak, and I get why most of these girls leave because they want to go act,
right?
But Kelly has and she's my friend, but it's just a fact that the acting thing hasn't worked for her.
Nope.
And
reality show thing, but not acting.
Yes, and to be honest, the show was wags.
Wait, speaking of reality shows, I watched the episode of The Hills that you were supposedly on. How fast was it?
Real quick.
Okay.
Real quick.
So someone pointed it out to you then.
I didn't watch it.
Okay, got it.
No,
because we were watching and we were like, we never saw Jamie.
It's like I think I'm part of like the establishing B-roll footage of like where it is. The segment he's talking about is I was.
Was it part of the Brody party? Is that what it was?
No, it was Spencer's party.
The Crystal launch?
Yeah, that's where it was.
Got it.
And I was at Spencer's Crystal launch, but I didn't even know they were filming when I went. And then, because I was with somebody that I didn't want everybody else to know that I was with.
Oh, shit. Those are the best parties.
And then I was fucking 5 cameras.
Oh my God, dude, that happened to me this morning. I went to breakfast someplace. This dude's wife called him while he was at breakfast with his mistress, and they were FaceTiming with his kids. He was FaceTiming with his kids, and she's like this, staring at the ground, like just total sad face on it. And when he got off the phone, she's like, do you always have to take her call when we're together? I only get so much time with you. And I was like,
you were at lunch with them?
I was at breakfast.
Oh my God.
Breakfast.
That's early to deal with. Yeah.
Is your friend Stanley Hudson from The Office?
No, it wasn't my friend. It was some guys I was watching. But it was insane.
Okay, so you weren't with them. You were next to you.
There were 2 tables over from me, and I was
Did you think it sounded like he was with those people?
Yeah, no, it sounded like it was like your boy.
Yeah. I was thinking like, damn, he just threw his boy under the bus here on the show. What if that wife is like serious?
Which one are you talking about?
Okay, last on the CM Punk subject, if you had to guess, do you think CM Punk's going to be at All Out or the first episode of the show or none?
I think if he's going to be at anything, it'll be at the first episode of the show. If he's going to be at anything.
Jamie?
Man, as he was talking, I was really trying to solidify an answer in my head because I really don't have one. I really don't because.
Which you love. I love when wrestling's like that.
Of course, it's great, and people. I do think that he's worked himself into a shoot, brother. And he's in a sense that he is, because he's done it before. It's not Boy Who Cried Wolf because he cried wolf like 8 years ago, but it's a few things. You're in the world of professional wrestling where it's nothing but lying.
It's very true,
and also. He's worked himself in a way that nothing he says. If he were to go out and say, guys, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
Ever. Like,
which he basically said in this interview.
Yeah.
It was like, guys, I'm not going to be there.
I never want to see a wrestling ring as long as I live.
There'd be the person like me who goes, but you kind of still do,
There's
right?
a bunch
You
of
know?
us. A bunch of us would be like,
And then there's gonna be egg on everybody's face. Then
Right.
then when he shows up, and then we got you all. It's
He is this generation's Hulk Hogan in terms of like you feel like you can't believe anything that comes out of his mouth.
True.
You know,
It's very
because
true.
look at the end of the day, the last thing I'll put the very end of this interview. There's 2,000 words or whatever, right? This whole long thing on CM Punk, a whole long interview. Him like, nope, don't want it, don't want to be there, and then there's that point though where it says, by the end of 2020, will CM Punk be involved with pro wrestling in any way? And he said, I doubt it, which is not no. And then ESPN said, but it's possible. And he said, anything is possible. That right there is like the Hulk Hogan
Right.
number one thing. You just go,
Right.
that's
Right.
at the root of all this. To me, what I see, and this is just my guess here, what I see here, whittling down all the bullshit, is that one sentence right there. And to me, or those few sentences right there, and to me, it whittles down to one thing. Anything is possible. Never say never.
Yeah.
Show me the money.
He's gonna
show me the money.
he's gonna hate hearing this, but he sounds like Paul Heyman.
He does. He
He's
totally does.
Yeah.
Like that's like if you had told me Paul Heyman had done this interview, I would have believed you. And I know they don't speak anymore, but like that seems a little some Paulie dangerously mixed in there.
That absolutely is. Okay, well, switching topics here, I think one of the other biggest story of the week is that WWE Network is getting an update finally.
Has it been updated across the board yet?
It's updating it.
Because I was ready to go home and check it out.
26th, I believe, is when it's supposed to
July?
be done. Like
Next week?
No.
this
Today's
week?
the 25th.
Oh, shit.
So
tomorrow.
So tomorrow, I think I don't know if it was like, I have to go back and look at the tweet. It's either like midnight as in tomorrow.
Damn!
Or like, but I know that my iPhone, I already updated my iPhone. It's so much better.
All right, so I know you listed on your article a whole litany of new features.
Yeah.
What would you say are the biggest game changers?
The biggest game changers, the things I've seen so far, 100% the search. Search sucked.
Oh, it was might as well not have it.
It might as well not have it.
Yeah.
For me, I even messed with it on like the beta of their website because I was really wondering. For me, the biggest thing are those superstar pages. So, when you search, let's say you search Stone Cold, it's still a little iffy on like, let's say you do Stone Cold versus The Rock. Other things might come up, or like pay-per-views with Stone Cold and The Rock might come up in them. But more basic searches like Stone Cold, something simple as that, or Survivor Series, or SummerSlams, WrestleMania. Like when you do a pay-per-view, they all just appear underneath, so in reverse chronological order. If you do a name, there's like, signature moments that you can click on, and it's labeled signature moments or famous matches, and then there's also pay-per-views that they were featured on or whatever. So some of I think they're still working out some of the kicks of. So that for me is one. And also when you do that, like you can search Stone Cold, right? And then you click on Stone Cold's Superstar page, and you can like favorite him. So let's say you do some more current. Let's say you want to watch every Seth Rollins match. You favorite Seth Rollins on his Superstar page, and then when you open the app,
It'll bring
you click your favorites.
So like a music service,
Similar to that,
like
yeah.
when you at the beginning when you sign up for Apple Music or Spotify, it asks you for your preferences, what you like, and then the more you use it, the more it learns what you're doing.
Yes, and I think on top of that though, it's also like when you do your favorites, it's so that you can kind of. The long-term vision from what I'm seeing here is that they're also in the free tier that they're going to upload. I feel like they're going to be uploading a lot of like the YouTube content, social media videos, all that kind of stuff. So in essence, this is like a hub for that wrestler's content, all their content. So you click favorite, or whatever, and then when you go back to your favorites, you click on the person you like and all their recent matches there. So all the recent content involving those people will show up in their recents or whatever. You know what I mean? That's
pretty cool.
So that's cool.
Yeah.
I liked
Still no offline button?
not that I saw, not that they showed me in this round, which I'd like. I will say there was another thing I liked, and this is just the ADD TV watcher in me. Netflix has you so tuned into like the
intro?
skip intro thing where you can just skip the intros of shows. You can do that now.
Oh, cool.
I think if it's older content, because I tried to do it with like this week's NXT and it didn't let me do it, but I did it with like Extreme Rules. So
you mean that opening montage they do where they do the voiceover and everything? Yeah, all of that.
Like you can skip intro and it takes you right to like the.
What about the old Freddie Blassie promos? Would they skip over that?
It takes you right to when the pay-per-view starts.
Okay.
I didn't try it with like everything, but I tried it with a couple of them when I saw it popped up. Also, I liked. So, first of all, I only had a chance to personally use fast forward and rewind on my phone, and it worked flawlessly so far. Because you know how bad that is.
It was really spotty.
Xbox. It's so bad, or on the whatever you use it on your TV app or whatever. Right. So spotty. Like it's so hard to fast forward, so hard to rewind. On my phone, at least. Great. It was seamless. I did have real trouble today with the Xbox One app. If you're someone who goes on that way, I recommend you try to not update it or stop the update until there's maybe like
some
a patch.
Bug fixes, yeah.
Because for me, the keyboard and the nav bar, when you're navigating, it doesn't highlight anything. So
you don't know what you're selecting.
So you don't know what you're selecting. It took me. I was trying to put my password in for 10 minutes, and I was like, I finally just gave up. I was like, I can't see what letter I'm on, and I was just guessing the whole time, and it was so annoying. And then I couldn't find how to like capitalize or switch to the exclamation point. So that sucked. I was really mad about that. Another thing I did like was when you're in the pay-per-views. So let's say you click into a pay-per-view, not one that's like obviously live or whatever, but let's say Extreme Rules, you go back to watch Extreme Rules or something like that. There's,
are there chapters?
So it's basically like chapters now. So
I was hoping for that.
Instead of like those dots that kind of told you where each, it was kind of hard to get to them. There's like a carousel at the bottom of the matches and the moments. So it's like from the opening match to the end of the show. It's not like the finish. It's just jump to this match, jump to that match, jump to this match.
Oh my God, really?
Which I've been waiting for that one.
Yeah,
I've been waiting for that one.
Yeah. Which is because now when you watch the old show, it's so much easier to find.
Because back then you really had to just like search around it and find the match you wanted.
But also sometimes like for someone like me who didn't watch some of the older content, like when it happened, I don't know what was on every show. Like so, if I click on a thing now, I can like I wonder what's on this random show, and I can click on it and there's a carousel of match. I'm like, I want to watch.
Right.
Ron Simmons versus Ultimo Dragon, or something.
I would love. This is just out of curiosity's sake on my part, is because this whole department has got to be fairly new. The whole network, who program it, their IT people, all that. Because I guarantee you, nobody was there at that company before they started that stuff. In terms of like people who knew how to run a streaming service, and I would just love to talk to them because I would love to see how they're figuring this out because it's not like Netflix, right? I think because Netflix is movies and some television series as well, but it's fairly straightforward. There's a lot of there aren't like you got either tagging. If you want to see Austin's first run from '97 to or when he said 316 for the first time, those aren't in movies like that. It's a much more intricate search thing and so much more content than I think any studio ever has.
Well, from what I was told when I talked to them when I was doing the tour with them, one of the things they told me was that with all the feedback they were taking in over the years in those surveys, one of the things they were really looking to streamline and make better is to make it easier for fans to discover content, basically. And I do kind of feel like the interface that we're used to, that's been there since the beginning, I do feel like it's more so like a data mine. It's like so much data in there, and you kind of dig to find the good shit sometimes. And it seems like they're trying to remove the having to dig factor and trying to make it easier for you just to find shit that you're gonna like.
And that's gonna be great for somebody like for me. For instance, I've always had a hard time fully investing into old ECW. Because while a lot of it is while there's some great stuff in it, some good technical wrestling from Dean Malenko and Eddie Guerrero, or some great hardcore matches with Cactus Jack and Terry Funk and Sabu. That shit is crazy. But there's a lot of bullshit. There's a lot of bullshit.
I watched the pilot the other day for their 1992 special. They had a 1992. They made a pilot prior to Paul Heyman. fucking wild shit. Like it was so weird. It's on the network now. It's so weird to like watch.
And so I would like, for instance, there's like they were one of the things ECW was credited for was great technical wrestling, and it's so hard to find it because it's so far in between like Balls Mahoney and like
the Angry Amish.
Yeah, doing shit. It's. And Knock Balls Mahoney.
No, totally. Honestly, for that reason, Jamie, one of the features that I really, really, really want to see is custom shareable playlists. I think that's really where they're leaving money on the table.
Because they don't even do that on Netflix, though.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
Well, but you can't share.
You can't share your playlist.
You can't share your playlist.
No, you can't.
And that's a big complaint people have about Netflix.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, they should do that
because friends want to share.
Friends want to share like,
films.
This guy's a movie guy. It's kind of like when you back in the day when you go to the video store and it was like they had those the row for like the guy who worked there and he had like the movies he thinks are really. This guy knows his shit about movies.
You're like, hey, I'm hearing a lot about this Walter guy. Let me find out what like, and then you search and you find all his stuff.
Yeah,
and then for instance, you would never see. Even though this would not have happened. Like, so for instance, you had never seen Walter, right?
Yeah.
And I'm the biggest Walter fan on the planet. We're like, dude, I have the greatest Walter playlist. Let me send it to you. And these are his best matches.
Well, there's something like that for New Japan and it's not made by New Japan, but there's like a super fan, if I recall, who like made like a thing
on
like
Reddit,
that. Where like you can click right to where they are on New Japan World, and kind of like if you don't know the history of New Japan, you can kind of like see some of the classic shit that you probably didn't know about or whatever, and it's so helpful. Or same with like a Monsoon Classic on YouTube, who if you don't subscribe there and you like classic wrestling content, you have to subscribe to Monsoon Classic. I watch it just as much as the WWE Network, his channel, and
how does he get away with it?
I asked him once because I said to him, hey, am I allowed to promote your channel? Like, can I say if I see something cool in there? Because I don't want to be the asshole
that gets you reported.
Who gets you reported. Right. Yeah, like, I don't want to be like, oh, look at this awesome channel, and then my number one treasure trove of content goes away because I was the asshole that promoted it. Yeah. And he said that his revenue is not set to go to him. It's set to go to WWE.
Oh,
so that's the real.
So he doesn't make any money.
He doesn't make any money off it. He basically is helping them make extra money because whatever. Who knows how much? Did you see what happened to
that Extra Cooler guy? You know who Extra Cooler is, right? No. That guy designs all those cool. Like Zack Ryder wears a lot of his stuff, like Mickey Mouse dressed as Macho Man, stuff like that.
No, but that sounds cool.
No, if you should check his stuff out. He's, if I remember correctly, he's the son of the guy who designed the Ecto Cooler box, like the Slimer and stuff.
Oh, that's cool.
And that's why his name is Extra Cooler, I think. Don't quote me on that. But he does a lot of like fun WWE type. Here, I'll bring up his page.
Okay.
Well, anyway, he did a great Paul Heyman Brock Lesnar piece where it was Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, and Brock Lesnar was the Beast from Beauty and the Beast.
I saw that.
And Paul
Heyman
that Paul
was tweeted.
The Clock. Yeah. And he posted it, and he had been doing this shit for like 3 or 4 years, and nobody had said a word.
Oh shit!
The day after he posted it, flagged for Disney, WWE,
yeah, dude, that sucks.
But
that sucks.
Here's some of his stuff.
Those are really cool. See, yeah, that's so funny that you say that because that's exactly. These are really cool. Honestly. They need to hire this guy to do shirts. These are awesome. Like these are all things I would buy.
Have you seen these?
No,
they're incredible.
These are awesome.
Like Zack Ryder always wears the Macho Man Mickey Mouse one.
I've seen that one.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Look, and these are fun.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how they should even put a strike on this. Look at that.
I
the
know.
man is Kill Bill. That is incredible.
I know.
Yeah, he because he posted on his story. He was like, I appreciate Paul posting it, but
yeah, that's 100% why I asked. I sent Monsoon Classic a DM like, "Hey man, like I really don't want to be the one that gets you fucked up." And he's like, "No, you could do it. It's okay. Okay, cool." And lastly, on this WWE Network stuff, one other thing that I should mention too before I switch gears a tiny bit here is that I also like the skip match button. So if you're watching,
it's like a CD.
Yeah. So if you're watching the match and you're not feeling it, you can just push the thing and it just skips to the next match
love
right
that.
when it starts. No entrances, nothing, just right to the next match. So I really like that.
God, imagine being the guys who have to just.
I know, dude. That's why it felt so bad, dude.
Hey,
and
man.
then when
there's so
do
much, and it just keeps coming. It doesn't stop. It's
funny that you say that too, because during my tour of the thing. I was noticing because they did this the jump 2 moments for a lot of the shows too. like Camp WWE had moments within the show that you could just jump to, which I was like, that's crazy. They did it for the shows too. Yeah. And so I asked, I said, well, what about like the documentaries? Are there chapters in the documentaries too similar, like an old DVD
like
or
beyond
whatever?
The mat section,
or just like any DVD where you'd like skip a in documentary in a chapter, you skip to different like whatever.
Wait, no, what's their
skipping chapters?
No, but I said it's beyond the mat, but that's not it. Their section of their channel on the network that has all the documentaries,
the originals or whatever.
Yeah, where it goes
after
Beyond the Ring. It might be that.
There we go. There we go. And they were like, I could hear in his voice. He was like, "Well, it's we're deciding which ones need it." Like, there's a lot of stuff on there.
Me,
you know what I was
when
saying?
I think of that,
fair
I
enough,
just
there
think
is a lot.
I just picture the I Love Lucy scene with the chocolate, and she's because it just keeps coming.
And then the other big news that came out of this, WWE Network stuff is that they're finally going to bring tiered pricing to the WWE Network. That it's not just going to be one basic $9.99 price. From here's what I know for sure: there's going to be a free tier. There's going to be, the way it sounded, free tier, the tier you're paying right now, and a VIP tier.
Yeah.
My guess is free tier is going to be all the stuff that's available already for free on all their stuff. Their videos that are on .com. Similarly, like I said, so that it can be a hub for video content for all these people. I'm sure that once in a while they'll put a pay-per-view for free on there to kind of like entice subscribers or whatever.
Sure.
It also just, if you have all these people sign up for free, you have this giant mailing list that you can still send stuff to. So I'm sure, they gain from that. And then for the VIP tier, they said that over the next few months, the VIP tier will have additional programming similar to the Evolve 10th anniversary celebration that WWE Network streamed earlier this month. My guess, if I had to guess of what the WWE television program landscape is going to look like in 6 months, I think we're going to see NXT on TV. I think that NXT will be on some kind of network. If it's not Fox Sports, it'll be elsewhere.
Makes sense.
Going head to head with AEW, and then I think that I think that my guess is This is where I'm a little iffy. My guess is $9.99 will get you the pay-per-views and the back catalog, and all the other kind of stuff. But I don't think. Maybe NXT after the fact, but I feel like NXT is going to be on a network now, so it's going to be like Raw or SmackDown, where it takes a while to come on there, and instead you get back catalog and pay-per-views $9.99, and then if you pay whatever the extra is, you can get a weekly show from Evolve eventually. I think that's going to replace NXT. You'll get specials from ICW.
I was about to ask which companies you think are the ones that they're going to be looking at to bring on.
I think it'll be ICW. Progress. Well, I honestly feel like Progress has become NXT UK. Basically, they got everyone they needed from everything they wanted from Progress and just turned it into NXT UK. And I feel like since Progress has their own streaming service, that maybe all their content's not just going to go up on the WWE Network, that maybe they'll keep their streaming service, since most of those guys all work for NXT UK now anyways. They'll keep their streaming service, and it can be like, look, this is where you see all the guys from NXT UK. This is where they all got their start. And they'll still run their thing. And I think also WXW in Germany, they seem to have a relationship with WWE because of Walter.
Right.
So those are the three. And I feel like they're working on more. You've heard about them talking to people in Japan. They apparently met with Stardom, and they met with, Dragon Gate. And I think it wouldn't surprise me to see another big company join up with them too, and like we see WWE Network become what some people thought Flow was going to be, that Flow Sports or whatever, where it's going to be a hub for other people's content. It's going to be
that's what Fight is right now.
It's going to try and take that Fight money. I think.
Yeah.
I think they're really going to try and be like, okay, no, this is where you see the top tier wrestling content. That's what I think they're gonna do.
I think it's very smart.
Yep. You got to evolve to stay alive.
Ooh, no. And was there a pun intended there?
No. Very good point. Yeah. Well, you know how they are. I mean, it's how WWE is always trying to stay one step ahead.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Trying to see anything else. Yeah, no downloading content for offline viewing yet. Really hope they add that.
They need to add a thing where you can get a bunch of your friends together to get on the network and you all watch a pay-per-view together with a chat.
That was one of the things that I saw, like in the surveys they always did.
Yeah.
That was definitely one of those things that
It's
I always
number
saw
one.
talked about. Yeah, like watch along party type things.
That's funny that we were just talking about that extra cooler guy because I just got an alert that my shirts that I ordered from him arrived. Boom! I had to jump on that before they took them all down.
Yeah, I agree with you. That's another one. Yeah, if you could do watch along things, especially if you could record them, because every wrestling fans would all do that. But then it's hard for monetization.
I just think it would be great for the wrestling community in general, considering how much they fly.
Yeah.
You know, being on a plane and being able to watch your matches back, like on these long trips,
Right.
like take notes. You know, watching tape.
Yeah.
You know, like that's really detrimental considering the fact that like right now you have to find why. They do have TV. Like you could purchase still on the TV section of iTunes whole pay-per-views still.
Right.
It's silly.
Yeah,
You expense that, but that's a bit much.
Yeah, like you should. Like these guys are on the road so damn much. They should be able to like, okay, I'm going on a 5-hour flight. Let me get this one. You know.
Yeah.
I had other topics here, but we're running out of time.
Yep.
I will say though that if you haven't watched it yet, I recommend going to the site and watching this video that we put up. I put up just a little before we started recording. It's just funny. It's Scott Hall and X-Pac talking about the Raw reunion this week, and it's them basically.
Can you play it?
Yeah,
because I haven't heard it yet.
It's quick. Hold on, and then we'll end it here because it is funny. They're like saying that they saw the reports. I'm just gonna play it. I'll just hold on. I think I have it queued up here, anyways. And no, we don't.
Yeah, sure. Welcome back, everybody, and joining us on the phone right now from the ATL. That's what they say these days, the ATL.
There we go.
Otherwise known as Atlanta. Scott Hall. Hey, Scott.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
How you doing?
Good, man. Hey, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a couple days.
Hey, man, did you have fun burying the younger talent the other night?
We're the clique. They have to dig us up, dust us off, go out and bury their top guys these days.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, let's go hold the club down.
Hey, so how do you feel about that? Because, I don't know, it kind of felt like it was a bit of a burial on those guys.
Well, what people don't realize is everybody in that room, when it was presented to us, said, well, gee, like, kind of burying those guys. It was addressed and it was overruled. Let me see, yeah, that's okay.
Right. Well, it's not like we didn't realize, we said it. And it's just like, what are we going to do? Say, no, we're not going to do it?
Right. Yeah.
It's funny for this reason alone when you
He
really
sounded just like you doing his.
yes, he did.
impression,
He
by the
did
way.
sound like me when I do. He was copying me, copying him.
Well, geez, kind of burying those guys.
Because when you watch it, because after hearing that and you go back and you watch it, because they've played that clip over and over of them running him out of the ring.
Yeah.
Razor is walking like he's just all right. We're getting in the ring.
Yeah.
He's when they get in the ring to run them out, he's the last person in the ring, and he's just all right.
Yeah.
We're okay.
I also like with Kevin Nash. He's like it's the most lackadaisical suck it you'll see in your entire life. Like everyone's like, we got 2 words for it, and Kevin's like.
He doesn't even do the
No, he just kind of like does it roll like, oh, whatever. Man. They paid me to be here, you know.
And it's
ain't my saying.
and it's funnier because it's true. Because when they said it's burying them, there is one active competitor out of like the 8 of them. There's like
That's
Triple
a
H.
true point.
And then they all ran. They all ran from Kevin Nash, Razor Ramon.
Couldn't even get to the ring. Yeah, I thought
X-Pac. Love the guy, but he's
in my eyes, I looked at it as like them being like hey, we don't want to beat up a bunch of fucking old guys. But yeah, that's just me trying to WWE explain the situation in my mind. And I love that they were like all back there going like, dude, why are you having us do that? And
like, we like these guys.
We like these guys. He also does confirm that Ricochet was supposed to be in that spot instead of Rollins. That basically all that was supposed to be to get Ricochet over, but Ricochet had an elbow infection. They didn't find out about.
That would have helped him so much.
I know. And Scott Hall says during the thing, he goes like, yeah, you bunch of haters. It was gonna be Ricochet, and we were trying to elevate him, and he's like, we tried, man. Like we that's what we were there for, and so all that was supposed to be Ricochet, but he couldn't do it.
Oh no!
I know.
This may be what happened to Ali, and he just never comes back from it.
Oh, I hope not. All right, Jane, where can people find you on the internet?
All right, you can find me on Twitter at JAMIE_IOVINE or on Instagram at JAMIEIOVINE. Check out Championship Wrestling from Hollywood on Fight every weekend. And you always tell me K-Doc and stuff, but I don't know anybody who finds it on there. And
KDOC represent.
And also tune into Network, NTWRK, every week. We do crazy drops all the time. We have a very special announcement on the 30th. We're doing a special collab. We haven't revealed what the product is yet, but we did our official collab with Adidas. That's dropping on the 30th. So if you have the app, if you don't, check it out. It should be interesting.
That Jordan figure was dope.
It was, but
did
the
you
price,
get one?
No, because it was so expensive.
How much was it?
It's $500 because there's only a few of them.
That explains,
and also because it was only available through us. We were the only United States provider for it. Wow. The only other place that was available was China.
Didn't it also have like a bunch of Jordan shoes that came with it? Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was a cool touch. Rocha, where can people find you?
You can find me at The Rocha Says on Twitter and on Instagram. Just to my podcast, The Top 10 and Cinephiles. If you're into movies at all, that's the one to go to. Those are the ones to go to and listen to. And I have watched it on K-Doc numerous times.
Okay,
well then
I'm wrong.
4 o'clock in the afternoon. I've watched it on there just because there are people
all right,
who've been on it,
everybody who doesn't have work.
on a Saturday.
Oh, it's on a Saturday.
Yeah, it's on a Saturday. Yeah, I DVR it as well.
Yeah.
Don't worry. It's funny. I'm going to listen to a Cinephiles episode on the way home, man, because I was looking for top 10 before I go because we're about to record an episode to show the top 10 as well on the top 10 movies involving wrestlers. And I was looking for top 10 and I saw Cinephiles and I was like, maybe it's in this feed, and I clicked on it and I saw you did a whole episode on La Bamba.
We did.
And I was like, oh, I got to listen to that.
That's my favorite. That's one of my favorite movies from the 80s.
It's one of the best movies ever.
Agreed.
You guys can find me. I'm at Ryan Satin on social media, at Wrestling Sheet for the website and show, ProWrestlingSheet.com, YouTube.com/C/Wrestling Sheet. That's where you can find all the videos of the show. Make sure you like and subscribe to the page. While you're there, leave a comment if you feel it's necessary. I read it, I promise. So I hope you do feel it to be necessary. And also make sure you subscribe to our podcast feed as well. Just search Wrestling Sheet Radio on all the major platforms. Okay, that's it. We're done. Official tapping out for now. Until next time, stay out of the dirt. Keep your eye on the sheet.